Remember the mini consoles? Little bite-sized replicas of consoles that came preloaded with games that can be thrown on the TV through sweet HDMI. They also came with a controller reprint, which was very nice. While decent successes in their own right, Nintendo stopped this after the SNES Mini, and it looks like they've gone the way of the subscription model for legacy content. Gross. I did a video of what games I'd pick for the N64 Mini, so hell, let's do it again for the GameCube. Like my Nintendo 64 Mini video, I'll do 20 and 30 game variants to reflect both the SNES and NES Minis, respectively. Let's start with the big boy, Super Smash Bros. Melee. The highest selling game on the console needs to be on here. 4-player mayhem that improved upon the original in so many ways. In that same vein, Mario Kart Double Dash needs to be on here as well. It was the second highest selling game on the console. Super Mario Sunshine was the third highest selling game, and is the console's mainline 3D Mario. Speaking of going 3D, Metroid Prime is simply a lock. Like, how can Nintendo not put it on here? It's a critically acclaimed game and an awesome step for the Metroid series. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker would be my pick for the Zelda game. It outsold Twilight Princess by a lot, and with only 20 slots, I'm really going to try to not double dip with franchises here. I'll probably put it on the 30 game version though. In that same vein, only Pikmin 1, as much as I love Pikmin 2. You gotta have the original Animal Crossing. It was the birth of the franchise here in the West and has since become a household name. In addition to that, it's also a unique title that stands out well here. Luigi's Mansion was the launch title that tried its best. I love the game and it birthed the franchise that has grown immensely since then. I'd also throw on Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, as this thing is going to be extremely light on RPGs. The game is looked back on so fondly for many, enough so that we're getting a remake on the Switch soon. For Pokemon, I'm going with Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I know that Pokemon Coliseum sold more, but I can't help but to think that this one aged a bit better and is looked back on more fondly. F-Zero GX would give us Fast and Furious racing game, and it's the only F-Zero game on the console. In that same vein, I guess Kirby Air Ride should be on here too. It's so odd that this is the only Kirby game on the system. It seems like Rare and Microsoft would play nice with all their support in NSO, so as far as Star Fox goes, I'd pick Star Fox Adventures if they decide to play nice, or Star Fox Assault if they don't. Either way, we get a Star Fox game. As far as the Mario parties go, I guess 6? It's personally my favorite one, but really any one of the 4 can be fine on here. These are great pick up and play party games, but with only 20 slots, any more than one would be excessive. Speaking of Mario, I think that a Mario sports game, that should be on here, right? I'd go with Super Mario Strikers. That was the highest selling one, and the franchise was born here. Speaking of franchises being born on the GameCube, let's throw in Chibi Robo. I know it kinda sold like ass, but for the sake of variety, it's gotta be on here. It's so unique, and Nintendo was known to slap on odd titles to these things. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance would also make sense. I'm one of those people who look at Fire Emblem as, please stop taking Smash Bros. Roster spots, but it's a franchise that has grown immensely since the GameCube days. So at 17 games, I'm going to leave the last 3 as third party. I know the GameCube's first party lineup is absolutely stacked, but I can't help but to think a couple of third party games should shine on here. I won't lie and say that I thought Beautiful Joe was a first or second party game. It was developed and published by Capcom. Whoops. Sonic Adventure 2 is the highest selling third-party game on the system, and Sega always plays nice with Nintendo. Lastly, the fact that you can be Link in Soul Calibur 2, that is simply hilarious enough for me to put it on here. So for the 30-game version, let's fill it out with some sequels that should have been on the original, but I left them off for the sake of variety. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess would be a lock as the second Zelda game on the system. Metroid Prime 2 and Pikmin 2 would also be great games to help out here. Both of these titles are considered major Nintendo titles, even though they did not end up selling super well. Wave Race Blue Storm should be on here. Both F-Zero GX, I didn't feel like putting it on the 20 version variant. 1080 Avalanche gives me a similar vibe to Wave Race Blue Storm in the fact that they are both nice-ass racing games to have on here. Wario should get a game too. Wario World is a fun little 3D platformer, but I think they would go with Wario Inc. Mega Party games instead. I mean, WarioWare has turned into a full-blown franchise at this point, while Wario World is just a cute little one-off. Custom Robo is an odd one, but I think it should be on here. It's such a unique game. You create robots and fight other people with them. Does that not sound sick? I'm thinking maybe Battalion Wars. Get some real-time tactics up in this bitch. It's a good game, and it's technically part of the Wars franchise. Again, it adds some nice variety. God, I gotta sound like a broken record by this point. So for the last 2, I'm gonna make an odd move here and throw 2 rated M games on here. Realistically, this would be geared toward Nintendo's older crowd anyway. When I think of GameCube third party, Resident Evil 4 might be the first game to come to mind. It was a GameCube exclusive for a hot minute there, and that was a huge deal. I'll then round it out with Eternal Darkness, a third-party game that was also exclusive to Nintendo GameCube. Like Resident Evil 4, when I hear GameCube third-party, these 2 immediately pop into my mind. I'll do a too long didn't watch list like I did with my Nintendo 64 Mini video. So for the 20 variant version, we have Super Smash Bros. Melee, Mario Kart Double Dash, Super Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Pikmin, Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, F-Zero GX, Kirby Air Ride, Star Fox Adventure, if Rare plays nice, Star Fox Assault if they don't. Mario Party 6, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Fire Emblem Radiance, Beautiful Joe, Sonic Adventure 2, and Soul Calibur 2. And to fill out the 30 version, we have The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess, Metroid Prime 2, Pikmin 2, Wave Race Blue Storm, 1080 Snowboard Avalanche, WarioWare Inc., Mega Party Games, Custom Robo, Battalion Wars, Resident Evil 4, and Eternal Darkness. With the Nintendo 64 Mini, I did a cute little extra of Animal Forest as a little novelty or some sort of unlock or something. For the GameCube Mini, I think just messing around in Super Mario 128 would be really cool. Do you remember that? That cute little tech demo that has 128 Marios running around while the player manipulates the environment? I think it would be a cute little thing to throw on there. Like with the Nintendo 64 Mini, I doubt that the GameCube Classic will even happen in general, so just let me dream, damn it. So, what about Snubs? I was thinking about just loading this up in Mario Sports games, but the GameCube library is simply too good for me to do that. Mario Power Tennis, Mario Superstar Baseball, and Mario Golf Toadstool Tour could be on here instead of Strikers. In that same vein, any one of the Mario parties would have been fine, and there are 4 of them total on the GameCube. I just like 6 the most. And in a day and night system, it fleshed out the orb system a bit better, and the minigame slapped. Pokemon Coliseum would have been a nice choice too, but with only 30 slots, I think XD Gale of Darkness is enough. Moving on to third party, the GameCube actually had a stacked third party lineup. I already put 5 third party games on here, and the first and second party output was too strong to put more. Beyond Good and Evil, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Ikakura, Killer 7, Skies of Arcadia. It was tough to just come down to 5 of these, and I'm honestly not even sure if I did a good job, to be honest. Like the Nintendo 64, the GameCube is a console that I grew up with and look back on super fondly. It was my third home console system, just behind the Nintendo 64 and PS1, so you bet your ass I spent a lot of time on it back in the day. 20 years ago, I spent hours upon hours playing games like both Pikmin, Pokemon XD, Melee, Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, among so many more. I'm still dipping into this library today. For example, I only played through Wind Waker and Metroid Prime pretty recently. You're always going to miss someone's favorite with this kind of thing, especially with a lineup like the GameCubes. Supposedly, there are around 650 games or so, but this console was a very quality over quantity system. The PS2 had over 4,000 games. I think that the console has aged pretty great, to be honest with you. If one hasn't experienced the GameCube, there's an application named Dolphin that would like to have a word with you. My GameCube isn't even hooked up anymore, so this is how I get my GameCube fix nowadays. It works natively with the GameCube controller adapter, and it feels so close to playing on official hardware. Dolphin is the best emulator out there. It'd be a shame if you didn't use it. Like with the Nintendo 64 Mini, I really want this to be a thing, but oddly enough, not as much as the Nintendo 64 Mini. I honestly think the main culprit is, well, Dolphin. The emulator just works so well, while the Nintendo 64 emulators, they still have a ways to go. Still though, an adorable little GameCube sitting on my desk that can be hooked up via an HDMI cable would still be neat. Inviting the buds over to play Double Dash, Melee, Mario Party 6, or the Pikmin 2 Battle Mode? That just sounds like a lot of fun. The GameCube is a quality library. I just wish it was celebrated more. Nintendo seems hesitant to dip back into this console. I assume it's because of the lower sales, but hell, what do I know?